Solom, Solom, welcome to Shamara, Watchwoman on the Wall. It's me, your sister Rayah, again with some prophecy updates and information you definitely will not hear in your local church and very few other places as well. This world is so distracted right now and it's been put into a deep sleep. So while everyone is distracted, the Most High has his people wide awake and watching the real events. Yahuwah is showing up for Yasharal, y'all, in all the places we were told not to look. I pray you hang out with me for a little while. I won't be long. I tend to talk fast, so you may have to come back later and pause or slow me down on the replay. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so as you know, this week or in the next couple of weeks, the Supreme Court will be ruling against the birthright citizen. I think they're gonna rule against it. I really do. I think they're gonna rule against the 14th Amendment. They're gonna throw it out, and so they're doing that now. I'm saying that that's gonna probably happen in the next few weeks, or this. I'm gonna say maybe this week. So they're ruling right now, expected to have come down with a decision on the U.S. born children of undocumented immigrants, and of course the descendants of the that slave trade, the slaves, because that was the reason why they formed the 14th Amendment. So this could affect hundreds of thousands of births, annually, and in the past descendants. The current administration has what's called the case that they're arguing is Trump versus Barber case, which challenges an executive order. So in this executive order, they seek to redefine birthright citizenship, which has historically guaranteed citizenship to everyone born in the U.S. under the 14th Amendment. Okay, so unlike previous cases, this case raises new questions about interpretation of citizenship rights for children born to undocumented immigrants. They're saying that as hey, look over here, undocumented immigrants, but we all know somebody said that's in office right now said that the reason why it was even the Constitution was amended was for the children of slaves. So it was created mainly to address the collapse of slavery and the legal status of freed black people after the Civil War. So if they overturn this, this would be historical. Okay, it was formally was meant to guarantee citizenship of formerly enslaved people, and broadly to ensure that citizenship wouldn't be denied on the basis of race. So yeah, that's going to come down, I'm going to say, in the next few days or even the next couple of weeks, because the Supreme Court, they go on a summer break. So they're going to make this decision before they go on this break. So be paying attention to that, okay? All praise to the Most High. Let's move on. Okay. So let's talk about the Next Step Summit that happened in Ghana over last week. Historical event. They had a lot of high-level people there. It was basically, putting together forming the next steps, what they're going to do to get reparations for the descendants of the slave trade and for the people on the continent that their artifacts were stolen, their resources have been stolen, their people were stolen. I mean, so it's going to be a culminated effort to get what's theirs. And they're going to do it legally, but the Most High has his hand in this. Yasharal. The Most High is in total control of this. It looks like to us, in the physical form, it looks like this. But in the spiritual realm, pieces are moving that we don't have any control over and we can't see. So it looks to us in the physical form as these countries doing these things, but the Most High, he is moving the chess pieces, okay? He's moving the chess pieces. So let's see, who was that? Okay, so the Ghanaian president, John Mahama, acting as the African Union champion on the reparations. Okay, the summit served as a direct operational follow-up to the landmark United Nations Assembly Resolution ARES 8250, passed on March 25th, 2026, which formally declared the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. So the summit core outcomes and framework delegates the conference officially established an operational framework to guide the African Union's decade of reparations from 2026 to 2036. Pay attention to these dates because these dates are very important. They're trying to beat the 2030 agenda. So this is going to collide. So if you were paying attention to my last video about the 2030 agenda, I hope that you followed up and looked at the video that I put in there that the brothers over at TAU had put together about the agenda. It's pretty extensive and is very, very precise on what they want to do. So this outcome is going to be unprecedented. So basically they put together a 19-point action plan committee, and this committee is like a legal panel, artifact restitution panel, economic reparative justice panel, geopolitical shifts and moving forward panel. So the African Union, CARICOM, CELAC, which is a community of Latin American and Caribbean states. So if you all don't know about CELAC, do some research on CELAC. CELAC is the South American delegation, which is Brazil. They are just as strong as CARICOM, okay, in this thing. Now, and you probably don't know, I know a lot of you probably do know this, but we don't, as far as African Americans or Negroes, we don't have a committee. We don't have, they have 400 years to put together one. We don't have one. The ones that they do have are, founded and led by others. Okay, and they are people that have been bought and paid for, as we all know. So that's why nothing has been done. So it's going to take other nations, like the Most High said He was going to do, to put this thing together and to make it happen. So no more silence, no more apologies, no more delays. Reparations now. Okay? Together, the two sticks have come together, y'all. Okay? All praises to the Most High. So the European engagement into this thing, they've already started giving back stuff. They've already started giving back stuff. The Netherlands, I think they gave back some stuff already. They're apologizing and everything. So a lot of these nations, I know for sure Germany and the Netherlands communicated immediate willingness to return stolen colonial artifacts. They've already started. Macron, he delivers this virtual address in the summit that was basically nothing because, as you all know, they abstained. Of course, the pushback from the West and the Europeans are continuing friction from global powers, while the 123 other UN member states backed the initial resolution. But as you know, United States, those people over in the middle of the E, and Argentina voted against it. So that doesn't matter. That does not matter. We're going to keep this thing moving. So the Next Step Conference was a total success. It was a total win. It was off the chain. I'm going to link a video of the Next Steps Conference. I'll give you a smaller version. There's a 9-hour version and there's a 5-hour version of the second day. I'll link that down in the description box for you. But it was off the chain. Okay, so let's move on. So who attended? This is going to blow your mind. Who attended? More than 80 countries across Africa, Caribbean, and the Americas were there. They were there. These were key heads of states, governments. We're even talking about military, political, all across the whole spectrum. Senegal president was there. Namibian president. She gave an amazing speech, by the way. If you need to catch the Namibian president's speech, her speech was powerful. She got a standing ovation. Liberia president was there. The Sao Tome and Principe president was there. The Gambia presidents were there. A president was there. Diplomatic, intergovernment, and special guests, key officials. CARICOM representation was there. Representatives was there. France and U.S. representatives were there. Distinguished guests like Nobel laureate Professor Hole Soyinka, Dr. Julius Garvey was there. The former Ghanaian president John Kufuor was there. Foreign affairs and justice ministers. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm going to link the list there in the description box for you. It was a powerful event. It almost went unnoticed, which is good. We don't want, let the masses stay asleep. But the ones that are watching, this was unprecedented and it was historical. Landmark historical event. Okay. So, in Isaiah 60:1-5, it says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Most High rises upon you. For behold, darkness covers the earth." Like I said, everybody's asleep. They're just dark. They're in darkness. And thick darkness is over the people. But Yahuwah will rise upon you, his people, and his glory will appear upon you, his people. Nations will come to your light. These nations are coming to our light. Is this not prophetic? Am I the only one that's seeing this? We're talking about the nations. It says nations will come to your light and kings to the brightness of your dawn. That means our rising, our coming up, our dawn. The nations will come to your light and kings to the brightness of your dawn. Lift up your eyes and look around. They all gather and come to you. Your sons will come from afar, and your daughters will be carried on the arm. Then you will look and be radiant, and your heart will tremble and swell with joy. My heart is trembling and swell with joy. Is it just me? Is it just me? Because the riches of the sea, the riches of the people will be brought to you. Is this not prophetic? And the wealth of the nations will come to you. This is in our scriptures, Isaiah 60, 1-5. It says in Isaiah 60, 10-14, it says, foreigners will rebuild your walls, and their kings will serve you. These are kings of nations. Although I struck you in anger, yet in favor I will show you mercy. All praise to the Most High. Thank you for your mercy, Abba. Your gates will always stand open. They will never be shut day or night, so that the wealth of the nations may be brought unto you, with their kings being led in procession. For the nation or kingdom that will not serve you will perish. So you countries that abstain, and you countries that said no, what the Most High say, the nations or kingdoms that will not serve you will perish and will be utterly destroyed. The glory of Lebanon will come to you in cypress, elm, and boxwood together, to adorn the place of my sanctuary. And I will glorify the place of my feet. The sons of your oppressors will come and bow down to you. All who reviled you will fall face down at your feet and call you the city of Yahuwah, Zion of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Kodesh one of Yasharal. Man, this is some prophetic stuff right here. Maybe it's just me. Moving on. Okay, so what was resolved? Okay, so they basically put together, like I said, the 19 points, the Next Step Reparations Summit, that they put together these panels. And so the core resolution shifted the global reparations movements away from purely symbolic gestures and into structural, long-term operational blueprint designed to force legal and economic accountability. Legal and economic accountability. The primary resolutions passed by the summit delegates include operationalizing 3 specialized global panels. Okay, the Global Advisory Panel on Reparation Justice, Global Legal Panel on Reparation Justice, Expert Panel on Restitution of Cultural Artifacts. This thing is moving, y'all. It's a 19-point framework. This thing is moving fast, and the Most High is moving it fast. And as time speeds up, this is going to speed up. So there's going to be a global reparations fund, the comprehensive debt relief and financial reform. So y'all that say y'all not African, and y'all talking about you a native and you never been no slave, and you ain't never been, and your ancestors was first here. Y'all all call y'all self aboriginals of the Americas. Y'all gonna miss out, man. This thing is moving, and I'm gonna show you this chart here, how they're putting this together. Anyway, this is moving. I'm gonna put a lot of stuff down in the description box for you all to read, because I just don't have enough time to go through. I'm just gonna give you the the outline of this thing. So the global panel is basically putting this thing together. These panels are putting this thing together. And it's moving fast, okay? It's moving really fast. So what's going to happen next is just get the action to move forward. They're not playing around. They're not playing around with this. This thing, they're going for their money. They're going for this thing. They're going for it. And it's going to be legal. It's going to be on the world court. You already got 123 countries saying, let's do this. Anyway. All right, so I put together this chart. I'm not a good chart person. So I put together this chart. But anyway, this is how figured out how they're going to put this global reparations fund together. So for 50%, 50 to 60% of the money that they get is going to be on infrastructure and development, basically building our walls like the Most High said they're going to do. They're going to build this thing. They're building this thing. Okay? Second thing, the human social capital is going to be 30 to 35%. That's money, y'all. Money. And then, of course, 10 to 15% is going to be returning our artifacts, our scrolls, our manuscripts. Okay? And I'll go into that further when we get down a little further into the presentation. So in Jeremiah 33 through 4, it says, "For the time is coming when I will restore the fortunes of my people." This is Jeremiah 30. Get your Bibles out and read this. It says, Jeremiah 33 through 4, "For the time is coming when I will restore the fortunes of my people of Yasharal and Judah. I will bring them home to this land that I gave their ancestors. Bring them home, and they will possess it again. I, Yahuwah, have spoken." When the Most High say something, do people believe in the Most High? I don't understand. These are the words that the Most High spoke concerning Yasharal and Judah. He says this. He's going to do this. He's literally going to do this. And we're watching it in real time. Okay, I'm calm down. It says, "The sentiment captures the exact ideological engine that drove the acrosamic delegates and historians at the conference repeatedly emphasized that the modern reparations movement is not merely a financial negotiation. It is a comprehensive civilizational project of decolonization and reclamation. The strategic framework adopted in Accra, Ghana, which is the land of our kingdom of Judah, directly addresses each of these domains to systematically restore what was taken, reclaiming land and resources." Okay, the Economic Reparative Justice Panel is framing land and resource degradation as a direct consequence of colonial extraction and chattel slavery. The strategy, okay, is shifting away from requesting foreign aid, which often creates a cycle of dependency. Instead, the framework demands structural resources, sovereignty, fair trade, parity, and environmental reparations for regions economically devastated by centuries of uncompensated mining and plantation agriculture. Restoring artifacts, lost books, and scrolls. The unhindered return of cultural heritage is treated as a prerequisite for psychological healing. The strategy, as seen with the recent returns from the Netherlands, Germany, and Denmark, the goal is to unconditional reparation of stolen knowledge. The expert panel of restitution is prioritizing not just famous statues and treasures, but hidden national archives, world correspondences, and ancient manuscripts. They have this stuff, y'all. They have our stuff. We want our daddy records. Restoring these items allow African nations to rewrite their own history from their own perspective, removing the colonial lens. Okay, also securing citizenship and the right of return. This is where we need to really pay attention. To those that say, "I ain't no African, this is our land," you might want to turn now. You might want to, this may be the time you want to go ahead and click off. Because it says, this is what they're doing. They're securing citizenship and the right of return. One of the most profound elements of the Next Steps framework is bridging the geopolitical divide between Africa and its global diaspora, formally recognizing the diaspora as the sixth region of the African Union. See, this stuff, the Most High is putting these pieces together and Some of us have been so brainwashed that we believe that that's not our land. Those are not our resources. Those are not our artifacts. Those are not our manuscripts, but they are. They are. If they took Judah and Yasharal, why wouldn't they take our artifacts and our manuscripts and our scrolls? They stole that too. So the strategy is guided by existing legal models like Ghana's right of return and year of return initiatives. The coalition is pushing for institutionalized dual citizenship frameworks. Oh, I just love that word, dual citizenship frameworks. Across the continent. This allows descendants of the transatlantic slave trade to legally reclaim their ancestral citizenship with free land, or you can buy land, invest in economies, and permanently resettle without navigating restrictive immigration barriers. They're doing all of this. They're putting all this together. This is prophetic. Reclaiming dignity. By forcing a formal acknowledgement of the transatlantic slave trade as a crime against humanity at the UN level, the movement strips away the historical revisionism that often minimizes the colonial atrocities. Systematically rebuilding museums, restoring ancestral remains, and funding global education curricula ensures that the history of Africa and its diaspora are anchored in truth, resilience, and sovereign dignity. So, they're getting it all back. They're getting their resources. They're giving us our land. They're giving us our manuscript. They're giving us our citizenship back. They're giving us all these things back. And, of course, reparations, which in the form of whatever they give it. But it's going to be of substance. It's not going to be some paper, non-essential paper stuff, okay? It's going to be real money, real tangible monetary substance things, okay? Okay, so let's continue on. The balance of justice will be restored. The reckoning, the reclaiming of our birthright. I'm going to be attaching in the description box a video called the Reckoning video. It's a must watch. It basically covers what happened at the summit and what steps they're taking and who was involved. So it's a 5-hour video, but it comes on at the beginning of the video. So it's like the first maybe 15 minutes of the video. So I'm going to put that in the description box. But basically it goes over the entire, or gives a synopsis of the entire reparations summit. The reparations for slavery are measures to acknowledge and compensate and repair the enduring harms caused by slavery, ranging from financial payments to systemic reforms and public apologies. Okay, so definition and forms. Reparations for slavery encompasses financial compensation, legal remedies, public apologies, and guarantees of non-competition, non-repetition of enslaved, addressing both historical and ongoing slavery. When I say monetary payments, I mean monetary payments. Yes, monetary payments to the descendants of enslaved people. It's in this forum that was discussed. Land, free land, housing. They're building our walls. They're giving us our land back. Systemic initiative to offset social and economic injustices such as policy reforms and community investment. Symbolic measures including public apologies, removal of monuments, honoring enslavers on our land. Take those monuments down. Get those enslavers off the money, off the coin. Renaming the streets. Renaming our streets back to what they used to be named. Or commemorating enslaved individuals. Historical context. Reparations have a long history. So in the U.S., the first recorded, did you all know this? That in the U.S., the first recorded, so there is a such thing as reparations. They know about it. They act like, reparations, what's that? Yeah, they get memory loss when you start talking about our reparations. But if you all, I don't know, some of you may know this, but reparations have a long history in the U.S. The first recorded case was a pension to a former slave named Belinda Royale in 1783. I don't know if you all know about her. Also in 1865, Special Field Orders Number 15 promised us 40 acres and a mule to free slave was a notable attempt at reparations, but later was revoked. And I'll put that link. It's called legalclarity.org, which is the slave, and then the Slave Compensation Act in 1837. In the in the UK provided compensation to it compensated emancipation to slave owners, highlighting the historical complexity of reparations. So they know about reparations. There's been other people that got reparations. They're giving reparations to Iran right now in the form of billions of dollars. So they only get memory loss when it's come to getting our reparations. Like, oh, we need to study. All of a sudden, we got to study reparations. Okay, so the contemporary efforts globally, countries have begun acknowledging their roles in slavery. For example, in 2022, the Netherlands issued an official apology and pledged 200 million euro to address the effects of slavery. I want to know who got that $200 million to address the effects of slavery. In the U.S., the National African American Reparations Commission, which is called NARC, established in 2015, advocates for a 10-point reparations plan and support legislation like H.R. 40, which it fizzled out, nothing happened because a lot of them are bought and paid for, which seeks to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans, and I'll give you the link to that. Some cities in the states have launched local reparation programs. I know you guys know about the most recent one for real estate laws that were broken, and someone in high place stepped in and stopped the reparations from going forward. And you know, it's got to be deep when you got people in high places like that stop. They do not want us to get reparations for nothing. But the Most High has already spoken. Financial estimates and debates. Estimate of reparations for the transatlantic slave trade has reached over $100 trillion, reflecting the scale of economic and social harm. Of course, it remains controversial, focusing on who should pay, or who should receive, and what form of reparations should it take. But it's going to be tangible. But it says advocates argue reparations are necessary to address intergenerational wealth, gaps, systemic discrimination, and historical injustices, while opponents question feasibility. What is that feasibility? What is feasibility and fairness? What are you opposing? Feasibility and fairness. What? It was unfair. What do you need to? What are you opposing exactly? International and legal frameworks. The United Nations recognizes reparations as part of human rights remedies, including restitution, compensation, rehabilitation, and satisfaction, which can involve medical care, legal services, and public acknowledgement of wrongdoing. These frameworks guide both national and international efforts to address the legacy of slavery. So the key takeaway for the reparations for slavery in this in the legal argument is going to be financial, social, and symbolic actions. They want tangible things. So we're going to get our land back, our resources back. We're going to get our citizenship back. We're going to get our kingdom back. Taking it back. Dum, dum. I just released that song on on my other channel. Taking it back. We're taking our kingdom back. The Most High is making this happen. He's moving the chessboard pieces, and it's going to happen. There's no stopping it. It's moving forward. So the global panel, basically of distinguished legal scholars from around the world, are going to be on this panel. These are the top high-ranking attorneys in the world that are coming together to go to the world court and say, give them their money. They're, of course, coordinated with CARICOM and CELAC, and the Most High is going to be representing us. So the panel is part of a larger Next Step Summit initiative that includes, global world advisory panel and expert panel on the restitution of cultural artifacts. These attorneys are like, they're going after everything. They're going after the land, the resources. They're taking everything. They're coming legally. Because, they always talk about their laws. Well, they're legally coming after, using their own laws after our reparations. And this is how it has to be done, because this is what the Most High want to be done. Okay? So, it's moving fast. It's moving really fast. All praises to the Most High. So, justice delayed is not justice denied. So, even though it's been taking a long time, it's, after 400 years, the Most High said, after 400 years, he would judge the nations. And then we come out with great wealth. So, he's judging them right now. They're on the world court. It's on the heavenly courts. And they're being judged right now. And they're being weighed in the balance. All praises to the Most High. Okay, so moving forward, let's go. The reckoning of the two sticks. I'm going to call it the great reckoning of the two sticks, because right now the two sticks have come together. All praise to the Most High. Use me, Abba. Use me, Abba, to make this public. The transatlantic slave trade has brought the Africans, Caribbeans, Brazilians, and the United States of the Americas, of certain South American countries, black people together for the first time in history. The two sticks have come together, y'all. They've come together. We're watching it in real time. All praises to the Most High. Let's read in Ezekiel 37:19. Say unto them, thus says Yahuwah Loah, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Yasharah, his fellows, and will put them, with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. We are watching it in real time happening right in front of our faces, for those that are watching. Okay, so as this unified front moves forward into its operational phase, what aspects of the civilizational reclamation interests you the most is where you stand. If this does not interest you at all, and this is just like, oh no, I'm not interested, then who are you? Who are you? Where do you stand? Because if you call yourself Yasharal, you should be happy the Most High is doing this. You should be happy that the Most High is moving in the favor of his people. If you who you say you are. Now, if you're against the Most High bringing his people back into their land that were taken as slaves into other lands, if you're against this, who are you? Are you who you say you are? Okay, so the specific citizenship and immigration laws being harmonized across the African nations for the diaspora is in full effect. The efforts to locate and repatriate ancient manuscripts and scrolls currently held in private Western collections are being returned. So the African Union is harmonizing itself together to bring about citizenship and immigration laws under the right of return legal principle. So they're making this legal under the African Union countries coming together. They're making this legal to bring us back home. Okay, so it's dismantling colonial era immigration barriers to integrate the historic diaspora. So they're integrating us back home. I'm holding back the tears as I say this. Backed by the AU's classification of the global diaspora as the sixth region of Africa, the legislative harmonization uses a three-pillar framework to transition from symbolic heritage programs to statutory continent-wide legal rights. They're giving us our rights back to claim our land and our citizenship. So standardizing the legal criteria for historic diaspora status. The primary hurdle in African citizenship has been legally defined who qualifies as a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade without standard birth certificates. So you're not going to have a birth certificate with Negro on it. Now you are going to have to um, prove that you're black. I mean, you're gonna have to prove that. Excuse me. The AU is standardizing a dual verification legal mechanism pioneered by the nations like Benin and Ghana. So they've already begun this. So they're going to use their model, the model of Benin and Ghana. So like a genetic admissibility or DNA testing. So you're going to have to prove that you are black or African descent. Okay, so those that are just say they're from Africa, no, you have to prove that your bloodline is to the land. So new harmonized statutes accept state-recognized accredited material like a paternal or maternal DNA testing showing sub-Saharan African ancestry, primary legal evidence, and lineage. So that's what the Benin and Ghana government is doing. But AU is saying if you have any of the countries in that any of the countries of Africa is in your DNA, you qualify to get reparations, free land, and of course housing and whatever else they are going to, resources and whatever else they're going to be giving back to the people of the slave trade. So legal evidence of lineage, of course, you're going to have the DNA. Civil registry alternatives. For applicants lacking standard generational papers, the laws codify alternative historic diaspora status certificates issued in collaboration with Diaspora Civil Rights Organization and CARICOM. Shout out to CARICOM. Fast track citizenship pathway. So they're speeding this up. This is not going slow. This is moving very, very fast. As time speeds up, these pathways back home are speeding up. So the fast track citizenship pathways, the Benin and Ghanaian models, rather than requiring a standard 5 to 10 year naturalization period, nations are modifying their national citizenship acts to create direct, expedient tracks. The Benin broad lineage law, under its landmark legislation, Benin grants automatic citizenship pathways to any global person of African descent over 18 who does not hold another African citizenship, allowing the preliminary process to be completed remotely via digital application. So you can apply online. Just have your documents and you can apply online for Benin citizenship. Like I said, you have to show DNA connections to the land. The Ghanaian Diaspora Registration Act, there's another way you can go through to get to Ghana. Building on its mass citizenship ceremonies, Ghana codified a specific diaspora registration pathways. This reduces physical residency, so you don't have to be there for no 10 years, okay? So the Ghanaian has reduced the physical residency requirements down to a brief 2-year window and officially removes the historical dual citizenship public office restriction. So you can be a dual citizen of another African country to be a Ghanaian citizen. Universal ancestral right. And I hope I'm explaining this. I hope I'm not going through this too fast, but I am going to put this information in the description box. I'm just trying to beat the clock here. Universal ancestral rights. The framework pushes all AU members nations to embed an inalienable right of return directly into their national constitution, making citizenship a birthright rather than a discretionary bureaucratic favor. In other words, these countries, the AU countries, all the countries of Africa that are in AU, are putting the right of return in their constitution. You heard me. You heard me right. They're putting it in their constitutions. So there's not going to be any red tape. You want to go back home and be a citizen and live there, this is happening, okay? Implementing visa-free regimes and abode status. In other words, you won't have to get on visa. Recognizing that full citizenship takes time to process, the Immigration Harmonization Framework introduces immediate intermediate legal statuses, permanent abode statuses, modeled after Ghana law. This gives diasporan the permanent right to enter, reside, work, and buy land, get free land, free housing, participate in African nations without needing a visa or employment sponsorship. Yes, that's what they're doing. The, the African visa waivers under the AU Protocol on the free movement of African people. These nations are expanding visa-free travel regimes at the. They did this at the Accra Summit in the land of Judah this past week. Basically, these nations are going to be visa-free. You don't have to have a visa to go right across the street. If you're in Benin, you don't need a visa to go to Togo. You're like right next door. That's like living in Texas and you need a visa to go to New Mexico. It's just nonsense they did over there. What they did to them. Kept them separate like that. But they parted his land that way. They parted the Most High's land like that. So nations are expanding visa-free travel regimes at the Accra Summit, which is in the land of Judah, the Kingdom of Judah. President Mahama confirmed that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is actively expanding these visa waivers directly to the CARICOM community. So the Caribbean people that want to go to Africa, they're making it possible where you won't need a visa. Okay? So if you have a CARICOM or a Caribbean passport, you can go to Africa without a visa. Overlapping economic rights. The ultimate goal of this harmonization is to anchor diaspora citizenship into tangible economic rights. So that comes with the ECOWAS passport. I know some people don't like that, but it comes automatically. I'm not going to throw it down in the dirt and stomp on it. I'm going to take it. If it comes with it, I'm taking it. Once a member of the diaspora gains citizenship in the West African states like Ghana, Benin, Sierra Leone, they automatically receive this ECOWAS passport. So it's automatic. You can't say you don't want it. It's just automatic. You don't have to use it. This grants them immediate cross-border mobility and the right to establish businesses or work freely across all 15 West African member states. The African Union passport, the long-term legal rollout plans to transition the official of African Union passport from a diplomat-only document into a universal citizen's passport explicitly available to verified members of the historic diaspora worldwide. African Union passport. Okay? They are going to have an African Union passport. Wow. And this is specifically for the diaspora worldwide. So they're moving fast, people. I'm going to have all these links in the description box. They're moving fast, family. This is not going to stop. This is going fast. So the reparations of ancient manuscripts and scrolls and national archives is treated by the African Union CARICOM Coalition as a critical emergency moving past the scope of general museum artifacts. Because text represents direct historical memory, philosophy, science, and governance structures, their theft directly enables the erasure of African intellectual history. Building on that mandate, the UN Resolution ARES 8250, which explicitly demands the prompt, unhindered restitution of cultural properties, artifacts, manuscripts, and national archives without charge. The expert panel on restitution is executing a highly aggressive legal and technological strategy to reclaim documents hidden in private collections, university archives, and private religious estates. You know what that means? The Catholic Church got to cough their stuff up too. There's a lot here. I'm going to just put in, but I do want to say this about, some may find this interesting. The amnesty strategy, the expert panel is establishing a limited time legal amnesty window for private collectors. Collectors who self-report and surrender African manuscripts such as the Giez, illuminated texts from East Africa, the Timbuktu Islamic scientific treaties from West Africa, or royal correspondence can go without facing criminal charges. So you can voluntarily cough it up. But if you don't, they legally coming after you and taking it. I found that interesting. That's built into the to the framework of what they're doing. They mean business. They are not playing. They are not playing with this. They coming hard. the top legal minds of the world, or they are coming together to go after our stuff and for us to come home. So this, and get our tangibles, and to get reparations, tangible, something you can feel, touch, look at, see, and know that it's there. So this is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So if you're saying that you're not from the land, I feel sorry for you. I do. You're publicly saying you're not from the land. I feel sorry. You're going to miss out on your great wealth, the great substance. You're going to miss it. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so all praise to the Most High. I told you I wasn't going to be long, but I just wanted to say all praise to the Most High and glory to Hamashiach, our King. Thank you for hanging out with me today. The Most High willing, we will hear the outcome of all these prophecies in the next few weeks or days. This is all happening very, very, very fast. These are amazing times we're living in. Hold on, Yashua. I know it seems like the wicked are winning, but that's part of the delusion. That's part of the delusion for them to look like they're winning. The Most High is working in our favor. You just have to know what to look for. All praise to the Most High, Yahuwah, and glory to our Hamashiach, our King. Thank you for hanging out with me today, y'all. Solom and Baruch.